Our next guest is a talented actress. She stars in the new film entitled The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and it opens December 21st. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the lovely Rooneymara. Rooney, come on out.
David Fincher felt the same way, and so did everyone else whenever when I was auditioning for 2.5 months. I think that was kind of
2.5 months
part of the problem.
For 2.5 months?
Yeah.
What mind if I ask, were they thinking of other actresses for this role?
I think they saw probably every actress in the world for this role, yeah. But they kept bringing me back in for 2.5 months, asking me to do all sorts of different things.
Any time during that process did you think to yourself, oh, big deal, let me just get out of here and go home?
Well, one night they called me up and they asked me if I would go out the night before I was coming in and get really drunk. And
no, they can't do that. Did you notify Human Resources?
No, I went out.
Well, why did they want you to go out and get drunk?
I think, you know, they had this idea, you know, everyone had a hard time picturing me as this person, and they wanted me to come in looking a little more strung out, I guess.
A little more haggard, a little more...
And I never drink, so I was vomiting all night, and I definitely was strung out when I went in,
And did you mention that to them? Nice to see you. I've been vomiting all night.
I did.
Wow. And now, is that encouraging to an actress or discouraging to an actress? Not all, they're suggesting I may not be able to act, so I got to go out all night and get drunk and vomit.
I didn't know what to think. I was actually relieved because I had been 2 months at that point, and I was just relieved to go out and get drunk.
Well, this... yes, you know, sometimes it is exactly the thing you need to do. I'll for a second and talk about your football background, do you mind?
Yeah.
We have two names that even casual observers of professional football are aware of, Mara and Rooney. Your first name, actually middle name, is Rooney.
Yeah.
And that's because your mother is from the Art Rooney family in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, her maiden name is Rooney.
Yeah, and Mara, because your father is from the Wellington Mara family of the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Now, was it like a...
It was an arranged marriage, an arranged football marriage.
Well, I didn't think that was legal. So, two great dynasties in professional football. What effect does that have on a kid? Were you a big football fan?
I wasn't. I was actually, I guess I really resented it. I didn't, you know, now, of course, I appreciate it. It's such an important part of my family, and I appreciate that it's a very unique part of my family. Right. But as a little kid, you know, we used to have to go to church on Sundays, and then we'd be brought to the football games, and I'd have, like, you know, itchy tights on and an uncomfortable dress, and all the other people at the games, you know, were in sweats and eating hot dogs. So I was like, this sucks, and you know.
When you've been this. You play this a deeply dark, troubled, damaged human being for so long, and then when you're back in the real world, is there a period of decompression, or can you just snap right back into it?
It was really hard to come out of it. It was much harder to come out of it than it was to go into it, oddly enough. Yeah. David always tells me it's because I was more at odds with my former self, but...
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means either.
So, like when you're among your family and stuff, are you still the dark, brooding, troubled, tough girl?
No, I'm not anymore. But you know, right when we finished, my best friend got married, and I went to her wedding, and one of the guests there was quite inebriated, and he came over to me and was trying to dance with me, and he picked me up, and I guess I was still sort of in character, and I just immediately grabbed his throat and was like, put me down, I will hurt you.
Sure. Good for you, that's what you do. At a wedding, that's what you do.
I'm sorry, do you have something to ask? I feel like you're not satisfied.
Rooney.
Are you not satisfied with that answer, Rooney?
Rooney keeps grading our ansers.
It's
She's
so
like,
hard.
that was an okay answer,
and
and no, that wasn't
it's
okay.
so intimidating. It's very hard to work with you.
How was that answer, A through F?
I thought it was great.
4 or 5. 4 or 5 was a decent answer.
And you seem to have stayed out of the showbiz zone, the party zone and all of that. Is that a conscious effort?
I honestly wouldn't even know where to find it. I don't, where is that?
There aren't people like with a rope trying to bring you in all the time?
I wouldn't even know where to go. I'm not trying to avoid it, I just don't even know where it is.
You don't even know where the party is to ask at the door whether you can get in. Are you a person who likes to do all that stuff?
To party? To like
no. Do you like the, you know, discos every night, or are you?
No. No. I like to be with It's not that I like to go out and I like to hang out with friends, but I don't like being in loud, crowded spaces. It's very overwhelming to me. I'm actually I'm a compulsive Googler. I Google things constantly that I'm curious about.
You you have an idea in your head and you say,
yeah, I'll look it up and then it'll take me to YouTube and then I'll find something else that's really interesting and then I don't even know how I got there.
you just Google it yourself. You just Google your name.
Oh God, no.
all day,
I'm not allowed to Google myself.
And then you Yahoo your name.
Yahoo, please. Come on.
Is Yahoo passe?
I haven't used Yahoo since the early 2000s. Yes, but I don't know what the latest thing. I mean, after I saw The Big Short, I went home and was on a Googling rampage because I wanted to understand it. And
that is the hope. I think that's the hope of that movie.
Yeah.
That's Adam. That's our director's hope, is that it could get people to Google it or Yahoo it and understand.
Yeah.
Gain a greater understanding. Just start a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely Googled that when I got home. But then I also Google really random, weird stuff.
I think everybody does.
Yeah.
Well, just to have that information at the.
I mean, if someone saw your search history, I think I would.
Oh, someone's looking at it right now. It's out there.
So
your search history is definitely out there.
And all the medical questions that I ask on there, it's like, my foot hurts. What does this mean?
Why is one ear bigger than the other? Does that mean
it
I'm
totally
going to have
is, by the way. Or at least one is.
Everyone's ears. I was talking about myself. Everyone's.
Did you know that your ears and your nose never stop growing?
That's such good news for me.
I learned that on Google.
I am so, especially the nose thing. I'm so excited about. I hear after you die, your nose grows for another 50 years.
I'm sure.
Hi, congratulations again.
Yeah.
How is this whole process of the events and the guessing about who's going to win and the interview after interview, how has that changed you, do you think?
How has it changed me? I don't know that it's changed me, but it's I've obviously been through this process one other time, and I was slightly younger then and very new to it all, so it felt like a much different experience that time, and now I sort of know what to expect more. But it's it's kind of there's two hands to it. It's a huge honor, and it's such a great way to celebrate all of our films. But then on the other hand, it can be very overwhelming, and sometimes it feels like we've been celebrating the same person's birthday for months on end, and it's just never going to stop. And
was that by the end of it, I was. You can hang on people's words in movies. I was hanging on your face. I was and I know that sounds odd, but I was watching you, and by the end, because the character you portray, it has such a steady demeanor to her, that by the end, I would examine every part of your face in every frame to see where you were going, where the character was going, to trying to figure out what was going on inside of you. And it was
a lot of people in my personal life feel that way.
It was fascinating, though.
What is she thinking? What mood is she in?
But performance was that way because it was so, it was so nuanced that I was hanging on every moment, and I don't know.
Thank you.
So what do you have to say about that? How did you do that?
I feel really awkward.
Do you get sick of people asking you stuff like that? Like when people say, how do you prepare?
Oh, I hate that question.
Well, because what can you say?
Also, why do people want to know that? Don't you want to go into a movie and not know how they did it? To me, my favorite kind of acting to watch is when I watch it and I have no idea how they did it. Right. Or what they were doing. And of course there's the temptation of wanting to know how they did that, but it's kind of better to not know. And it's so boring. Agree. It's so boring to talk about process and homework and
I could and we're done. Because I totally agree with that, because it is pulling the curtain back.
Yeah.
I want it to be a discovery. It's why when I was doing The Office, I always politely declined doing the DVD extra where you sit and watch an episode and the actors weigh in on various
commentary?
moments. Do commentary.
I love listening to those, though.
But I hated doing it.
Oh, I would never do one, but I would love listening to them.
But see, that's the thing. People want to hear. They want to know.
I know, I'm part of the problem.
See, you're buying into it.
You're part of the solution, I'm part of the problem.
I'm not part of any sort of solution.
Should we talk about your personal life instead? If
You know
don't
what? I
want
actually
to talk
want
about
to talk
process.
about your personal life because I have a bit of information that I've been withholding till we were actually on camera. Did you know that my wife Nancy made out with your uncle when they were at BC?
Which uncle?
He was a hockey player at BC.
Oh.
Yeah, and she said, please tell her this is before he met his eventual wife, and it was just, and that he probably doesn't remember.
If it's the uncle I'm thinking of, which I can't imagine I have more than one uncle who played hockey in college, because that's, not everyone can do that. He's not blood relative.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's still my uncle, but he's not related to my dad or my mom.
Oh, okay.
But wow.
Yeah, I know. It kind of made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to bring him to
resent
your next
you.
premiere.
I resent you because of it.
Do these two dresses kind of describe who you are?
No.
All right, then describe, okay.
It's this thing called the Enneagram, and it's sort of like a Myers-Briggs. It's a personality sort of categorization. And right before we started shooting Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, David started talking to me about it. He made me take the test so that I could find out what number I was. And he assigns each character whatever number they are. And I found it to be super helpful. I became sort of obsessed with it for a while. I made everyone I know take it. And it's very interesting, especially for an actor to have as a tool and for a director. And
you told me to take it, and I did.
Oh, what number are you?
Oh, I don't want to say.
You're a 3. You're not a 3.
No, actually, that's. You tell me yours. I'll tell you mine.
I'm a 5 with a 4, or sometimes a 4 with a 5, but.
I'm a 9.
Oh, really? Do you know if you're an 8 wing or a 1 wing?
No, I haven't gone that
bet it's
deep.
a 1. The 9 is the peacemaker, so
Yeah.
you're probably.
That's why I'm a moderator, I think.
Right.
But actually, when I
Passive-aggressive.
read the description of the personality, it was frightening how accurate it was. It terrified me, actually, just to see how it like was basically looking into a mirror.
Yeah. Okay, this is good. I feel like now I'm
Enneagram.
gonna know how to relate to you better now.
Oh, good. A 5. A 5 and a 9. That's an okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we should get married or anything, but it's.
Really? We're already dressed up. Sorry.
That's an odd thing for a 9 to say. I wasn't expecting that. 5s tend to be loners. They like to spend a lot of time alone. They're like out of all the numbers, they're probably the most likely to not get married. So.
You have a boyfriend.
Yes. And I have a boyfriend.
Yes. Good. And dogs. So
Yes,
you're not a loner. Well, not
No,
really.
no. Yeah, I have a small little tribe.
You seem incredibly happy and
Oh, do I?
normal and sane. Yeah.
Great.
Well, I mean, it
Is
seems
that
like
a question?
No, not really. But you seem it's because like you play a lot of kind of downbeat characters and people are going through tough things, and you just seem like you're kind of cruising through it.
Well, I mean, I'm not cruising through it, but yeah, I mean, I'm all those things, and then I'm not any of those things. Just depends what hour of the day it is.